You worry too much. There, it's live now. Are you happy? We're 2 minutes late, everyone. I have to apologize. Brian's mad already because we're 2 minutes late. Oh, look at this guy. See, this is why it was worth waiting. Look who's joining us. See?
Hey there.
Hold on.
It's worth waiting for this guy.
Good morning. Morning, guys.
Morning.
What's up, Paulo?
Busy morning here.
Yeah, nice Sunday morning here. I've been working on this house up here at the lake for the Airbnb side of it. So trying to move some old furniture out to make room for new furniture coming in. So how are you? Busy one with the little one?
That's exactly it. Running around the house. Everything's interesting for her.
Yeah, it's awesome though. It's a fun age. Dave, our buddy Dave says he's joining us here too, but he says, I'm here. Bleep, bleep, bleep. I don't see him. You don't see Dave in the stage, do you, Brian?
I don't see Dave in the stage.
I don't either.
Got my coffee.
You got some coffee? Yeah, I don't even have anything to drink.
Well, that's strike one. It's just commerce now.
It's just commerce right now. There's no coffee for me, at least. I was already at the diner though. Hold on one second. I gotta send this over to Dave.
You start early then.
Yeah, I was at breakfast at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, no thanks. I just got up an hour ago.
All right, let me take care of this. You guys give me 1 second, and I'll tell Dave. And coming to email.
Speaking about Amazon, how do you guys what are you guys learning about these new fees, particularly shipping things in? And it's been about 6 weeks now they've had it, right? About?
Yeah.
What do you guys concluded from it? That
I still don't know, because the last couple of shipments I've only done the minimum amount of split. So, you pick your East Coast, West Coast, Central. So I've done that. My shipping cost, I did an order the other day from New York it sent stuff to North Carolina. And it was only 2 boxes that weighed a total of like 10 pounds. It's like an OTC thing. And it was $20 for less than 10 pounds. No.
Hey.
What's up, fam?
What's up, Dave?
How we doing?
We're good, man. We're good. We're talking about Amazon fees, placement fees, inbound fees.
Brutal. What a way to start the day, a Sunday.
Yeah, that was Paulo's idea. He had to bring us down. He had to bring us down there.
He brought in the heavy hitters.
Okay, so can I just jump in with my latest?
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Okay, so one small box, cosmetics. They gave me no other option, and with placement fees, it was $94 plus the shipping, and I had no option to choose otherwise. And I thought maybe, and I hadn't really gone into, you get kind of spoiled with prep centers and that kind of stuff. So I hadn't gone in there and done that since the change. And I was like, is this normal? Should I be paying more attention to this? How is my prep center just clicking yes to all of this? What is happening? I don't know. So yeah, that was kind of a wake up for me. And maybe that's normal. I don't know.
No. What I learned with I would say it's, how many units did you ship in? Like over 100?
Yeah, it was 400, but it was all the same. It's all the same SKU. It was still, yeah.
I know what it is. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, so small light items, little small. Yeah, so that's kind of similar to what I just did, right? Where I sent a bunch of OTC stuff in small and light, 2 little boxes but it was price, the per pound price was high, but per unit price still was okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's ultimately that's kind of what happened to me too. Like, I looked at the shipping would have been $9 otherwise. You know what I mean? Like in the past. So it was an extra 87 or an extra 92, something like that, for the placement fee. I just
per
thought,
unit. Per unit.
no, I'm talking about $97 for the
Okay.
box.
Yeah.
400 units.
400
Yeah.
units. So honestly, like, I mean, it works out to be like, I think it was like
24 cents.
28 cents or whatever I had. Yeah, I think it was something like that. So
Right.
not terrible, I guess, but for something that a box that in the past would have cost $9 is now costing 90 something.
Yeah.
To me, it was a big jump, obviously.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
So that I know where that came out of, right? It came out of PA.
Yes.
Yeah. So PA to where would it go?
I have to. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I want to say Virginia.
So you picked East Coast minimal placement, right?
Yeah, but it only gave me that option. That was the other ones were I didn't have an option for anything else. So it basically just pigeonholed me to one thing.
Yeah. But you went into your settings and changed it to minimal. What's the title, Brian? Some of you guys, I can't remember, but minimal. Yeah. There's optimized, there's the middle level, then there's the minimal, right?
Right. Yeah, the minimal one.
Yeah. So that's what I just did with some stuff, like I said, and I think that was shot. They sent it to North Carolina, from upstate New York, which, yeah, before that would have been like $12 probably.
Right. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, when that kind of self corrects. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's got to find a middle ground a little bit. I still think it's high. And once they get it figured out, I think it'll balance out. It won't be back to the good old days, but I think, I hope that it'll get within reason.
Well, I think the pricing will adjust, right? We'll just have to adjust prices.
Yeah, sure.
For the items we can.
Right.
For Dave, what I noticed is I got screwed one time, but I'm looking at the inbound settings here. There's Amazon optimized shipment splits. There's partial shipment splits, and then you pick a region, and then there's also minimal shipment splits. If you're shipping like through UPS, smaller boxes, it seems like the Amazon optimize makes sense. But the minute you start shipping LTL, it doesn't make sense, because I'd rather pay a placement fee of, maybe it depends on units, but I'd rather pay some kind of placement fee instead of, because I didn't. The reason I mentioned this because I had minimal shipment splits, and it shipped it to it was optimized through LTL, and my stuff was in Oregon. It shipped stuff to Virginia LTL.
Oh wow!
And it was too late for me to do it. So, because this is when it first started, so it really depends. But for me, LTL, it's better to just pay the placement fee and not ship things across the country. But using the UPS smaller boxes, like maybe makeup, right? A couple hundred units, maybe the optimized shipment makes more sense because it's cheap to ship stuff like that, right? So,
right. Yeah.
But the LTL murdered me. It was crazy pricing, and it was my own fault for not clicking the button. But I have multiple prep centers, so it's not really, it's not obvious sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, I was just surprised I didn't even have the other options. I didn't know I didn't know if that was common or if that was happening to folks where you could. It literally just I was forced to do that. There was no other option. I changed I went and looked at settings. I did all that stuff, but that was my only option. So I didn't know if that was common or not.
Did you use Send to Amazon?
What's that?
Did you use Send to Amazon to do it? Or like Inventory Lab or 2D Workflow?
No, I'm just on Seller Central.
Okay,
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't show up too. So weird.
So I have some thoughts on it. I noticed recently I did a few shipments. Sometimes it was forcing me to send it to one location, and basically forces that fee on you. I also noticed that sometimes it would give you the partial shipment option, and that actually ended up being cheaper than the other two because of the cost of shipping to all the different locations. So I've started to click on the different ones if all three are available, see which one's the cheapest, and then honestly, I started thinking about it. I was like, well, if partial shipment splits is cheapest or cheaper, it might be better to get things into FCs faster because they don't have to be FC transferred. And then another point, honestly, is we just talked about how that cost you 25 or 28 cents or whatever. Well, tomorrow, and I wish they would have implemented this when they did the inbound placement fees are going down. So you're basically going to completely negate that extra cost. So, in my opinion, I think it was justified in everyone kind of freaking out at the beginning. But in my opinion, I'm starting to see that it is a slight increase, but it's not as much as people are thinking.
That's good though. I mean, that's good. I honestly hadn't. I don't follow that stuff as much as I should, to be honest with you. And I just it's not as tight as I need to be with all of that stuff. I mean, and that's like probably the worst thing you can say as a business owner is like, yeah, I don't know my numbers. Great job. But I mean, it's just the reality of it. You just kind of I get in go mode. It's me, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm still making money. I just keep rolling. Like that's kind of how I do it. And I know again, I need to get it where I can, have better metrics and in that way there, what levers to pull, right? I mean, I understand all that, but I just got to get to that point. To me, sometimes I just keep my foot on the gas. That stuff slows me down, but I need to slow down a little bit. So, and then I got Brian calls me, tells me to spend more money, and it gets ridiculous. I mean,
you just keep spending. You keep spending. I think that's kind of how I think I was with Brian last Q4. Like, just buy, Brian. Don't worry. Just hit the buy button. Keep
right.
buying. And now I'm sitting there going, oh my God, how much I went. So I did I don't want to change the derail from our fun fee topic, but I did. I attended an auction yesterday. I know I text you guys, but Paulo, Sadiq's joining us too in a minute. By the way, he just messaged. He's over on IG with a few other people on IG. Thanks everyone over on my Instagram side for joining us today. But a buddy of mine texted me at like 9:45 saying, hey, there's an auction starting at 10 o'clock. You might want to come see this. So I made the mistake of driving down there. And let's say I had to run home and hook up a 12-foot trailer to go back. I walked out with a bunch of stuff. I ended up I messed up. Sometimes we learn from failing. It's not a complete fail yet. I mean, I just got the products, but there was an item that I know I text you guys. They had a bunch of them. And so I waited. Auction came around and I needed them at 100. That's what I wanted my buy cost to be. And I was going to buy them all at $100 because they got lithium batteries. They're heavy. I'm like, but if I'm at 100, I can turn some profit at least a 30% on these, right? And if something goes wrong with the fees, I'm still at 20% roughly. I got and auctions are a little tricky, right? When you get in there and you get a little excited if you're like me. And the bidding came down. No one bid on the units to $100. I probably should have waited to 75 to see if he even went below there. I don't know if the guy would have, but at 100, I've made my bid because he was at 125 for a while. Nobody was taking him. 110, nobody was taking him. 105. So he finally goes to 100, and I'm like, yep. And as soon as I do, the lady stand next to me goes 125. And I'm like, so she buys one unit at 125, and he looks at me, and I'm like, I'll take the rest at 100. And I go, I'll take the rest at 100. And he goes, sold at 125, the rest of them. And I'm like, no, like laughing. Like he's laughing. We're all having fun, right? He goes, we're at 125. That's how it works. If you want the rest of them, they're 125. So I'm looking quickly at my phone going, I think I can squeeze out 10, 12% maybe at the end of the day, probably hit a couple on Marketplace, and that'll level out. And these are bigger units, right? They're a power tool. So I thought there was 12 and she was taking one of them. So I bought them all at 125, found out there was 26, not 12. So I bought 24 or 25 of them at 125. And then what I did not realize is that there was a auctioneer fee. There's Sadiq. I'll bring him on in here. And hey, buddy.
What's up? What's up?
Welcome. Good to have you in today.
Yeah, appreciate you sending me the invite.
Yeah, always, brother. Always, man. But I just finished up a story about I went to an auction yesterday and bought some stuff. And but I did not take into consideration the auctioneer fee
Oh,
of an additional 13%. So at $125 per unit buy cost, right? That
That's
adds up
rough.
another
yeah.
14. Yeah. Yeah. So there's no go on Amazon for these unless, well, and the good part is Amazon's on sale right now on the unit. They're 100 off. So if that sale goes off and I can raise that price $50, I'm good all day. But we're going to put them on market. I put them up last night. I undercut Amazon by $1 just to see what happened. FBM. I haven't sold a one, but, and then I bought some other power tools, Dave, you'd be proud. Got some Craftsman power tools too at a pretty good deal on those.
Nice.
Yeah. So the auction was fun. I'm going to definitely go again. I have to admit it. It's a good time.
It's unique. They auction down. That's how it works?
They auction down. Yeah. So and honestly, what some good things came out of this. First of all, now friends with the auctioneer, he's looking for more products. So the auctioneer runs, it's all his own product. So which I think the fee is kind of bullshit, if I may say, on a Sunday morning. But because typically, right, an auctioneer fees, right, because he's auctioning off other people's property, right? It's his own property. He's buying from, I mean, we walked by this guy actually in Vegas. Literally probably walked by him twice when we were over at the closeout show. Like same time, same days we were there. I was taught like he buys a lot of stuff, what do we call it? The B loads or B pat. What's the you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So super good dude. So we made friends and he's like, hey, listen, you come across some stuff and you need to, there's Pete. Awesome.
What's happening?
Awesome. Yeah. Look at this. It's like, it's kind of like, we just need like some women in here now. We could have like the, you guys are all too young. The TV show, the
Brady Bunch?
The Brady Bunch. This is
Brady
true.
Bunch. There it is. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
You don't?
Deke, come on.
I'm
Deke,
completely
are you
unaware.
kidding me?
No, I know what it is, Deke. That's
All right.
incredible.
I'm looking it up.
You're
Yeah,
looking
he's
it
looking-
up. God, so much work
Dave says.
yet to do.
Yeah. So it was good though. The auctions are fun. I'm gonna do them again. So I made friends with the auctioneer. We exchanged info, so I can send him like on some deals where we got to get rid of a pallet of something extra, maybe to make a buy, or we need to make a big buy, but we don't want 2 extra pallets. He's willing to take stuff. He's got good spending power. He can buy by the truckload, which he does, multiple truckloads. So if nothing else, if I break even on the tools from yesterday, made a good cut. And then, while we were loading up the trailer afterwards, made friends with another couple there that are doing, they did some e-com for a while and they had some, but they're doing online auctions only in their local area. So they were there buying a bunch of stuff to re-auction and exchanged info with them. Again, another outlet to push merchandise, and they're looking to get into different stuff than just, this guy's all home improvement, everything, kitchen. I mean, he literally had everything and the kitchen sink yesterday. You name it, from pallets and pallets of insulation, lumber, kitchen cabinets, faucets. The faucets looked good. And I thought about buying out the whole lot at the end but only a couple of the faucets were name brand. I started looking at the others, and I noticed the labels are all return labels. They all had foreign effing SKU like from overseas SKU labels on them. So it was all Amazon. And I started looking some of the faucets up, and they were, Chinese faucets, $50 brand new. So they were selling them at 90. And I couldn't believe the people that were overbidding on stuff. That I saw stuff sell for over what you could just go on Amazon and bought it that day and had it delivered to your house the next day. So
It's
Kinda
funny,
hit
though. People get caught up in that stuff, though, right?
well, like I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Smart model
literally
for
went through-
him, for the guy doing the auction. It's actually pretty smart. There's, but to your
Genius.
point, Joe, that happened around here. There's a guy. He's at ASD as well. He's actually as a vendor, but he's got retail locations like those bin stores. But he also sells pallets out of the back. He's got locations throughout the country. And he basically, what he does is he goes into malls and takes over, whether it's the old Macy's that's now a Sears or whatever, those cornerstone stores in the malls. He just takes over those. But a lot of that's, there's a lot of junk, there's a lot of returns. But to your point, once you build that relationship, now what happens is he'll call me. He's got 2 that are local, trying to get Brian in there as well. But he'll call and be like, hey, I've got, X pallet of this thing brand new, because most of his stuff are returns. I don't mess with it. and I'll just see if it works and go down there and pick up a few pallets of that or whatever, So I think that could be really fruitful, that you made that relationship. That's big time.
Yep, and that's what we talked about too. He likes, like, actually during the one auction, he was auctioning it off. It's exact same setup, Dave. It's an old Sears they're using, which is funny. Is just down the hall from there in the mall is another guy that does what we do, and he has a whole J.C. Penney's 30,000 square foot. He does about $1 million a month on Amazon right now. So he was not at the auction, but good dude. Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? I can get stuff from him potentially as he comes across stuff that might be, too much. He said Christmas time is great for them because they'll open up to more appliances, different stuff. So at the end of the day, right, I dropped $4K, I think, in total. It was worth everything to go there and experience it, number one. And now, like, the 2 connections I've made out of there was worth every penny, I think. So, but fun too. Just the whole idea of getting in on the bidding is fun.
Nice. That's awesome.
What's going on with you guys?
Well, before we switch the subject, Joe, let's say you buy from the auction. How does invoicing, how does proving authenticity, how does that stuff? It's more kind of okay. Never mind then.
It's a big old roll of the dice, man. Just
okay.
I was just about to ask that. I was like, what is everybody's thoughts on that? Where's your risk tolerance?
I have some thoughts not on camera, I can tell you.
Yeah. I think I would have only done it on items that the brands I've sold before. I'm comfortable with those brands. I know where he got the stuff, right? So this stuff I know came directly from Lowe's. I know that for a fact. But I could never back that up with, in fact, it's funny. I'm looking at my text messages to see what the receipt and the invoice, because they send me an invoice. I just did it through text and I hadn't even opened it yet. So,
well, I'll tell you this, while you're doing that, going back to piggyback off of the relationship part. Yeah, right. So that's nothing. But this is what happened for me, because I actually did come across this, and they don't do invoices. They don't like to do invoices. It's just a number of items, right, and a dollar amount. However, if you're friendly with them, say, hey, look, I'm going to continue to buy from you. I'm going to buy a lot. If I run across this, can you produce me a legitimate invoice, right, for that stuff? And again, they don't love it, but if you buy enough from them and you consistent and do right by them, they'll produce one for you. That's legitimate, and it's legit. It's not what you're going to get first time around. You're just going to get a dollar amount and a number of items. That's usually what I get. And if I need to go get something, they'll come up with it. They'll hem and haw about it, but I mean, they'll do it for you because you're good to them. You spend money with them. So I think.
Hey, Brent.
Yeah. So, anyways.
What's up, man?
Hey, welcome, Brent. Good to see you again this week, buddy. He's one of our. I don't know if you've met. I know you've met pretty much everybody else in here, right? But Sadiq and Peter. I don't know if you guys know each other, but
Hey, I haven't met Paulo or Dave either, actually. So.
Oh, you haven't? I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you guys.
What's up, Brent?
Yeah.
How are you, man?
What's up?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, to touch base on that with the. So I have a friend that's been in the business 30 years, right, for liquidations clears. Same exact situation. When we need an invoice, that they will be able to go and get it from Lowe's, or they don't like that point, because we know their supplier. So they're not worried about giving up their supplier because they know I'm not going to go do what he does. I'm just not going to do it at that level. I'm assuming this guy would do the same, but I didn't even ask yesterday because I'm familiar with both these brands and I've never had an issue. Like one of them's Craftsman, and I've sold a crap load of Craftsmans, and I've never had an issue yet. So, and I thought I was buying. I mentioned it. They were saws that I bought, right? And I thought it was 12 of them because they were big, and I saw a couple out of the case, and there were some cases behind them. I didn't realize it was 24. So that, or whatever, it came out to be 25 total is what mine was. So yeah, I thought I was only buying 12 or 11. I ended up with 24 or 25, so.
What are your concerns with authenticity in like the tools and like the tools category? Because it feels like that wouldn't be as high as some of the others. So
That's a good point.
Yeah. I think it's sorry, Joe, you may have, I was going to say, from my experience, it's very brand specific. So you kind of just know. I mean, there's only so many major players, right? And that, so you kind of know there's a couple that, really just a couple that you might have a problem with, or you have to get direct. And usually that's kind of like completely restricted, red restricted or whatever. The rest of them are wide open. And I think the reason, at least in my case, Amazon doesn't want to mess with, or they are not allowed to mess with some of these players because they sell the Home Depot, they sell the Lowe's, and they've got contractually they can't sell to Amazon. And so it's kind of just, it's nice because you're never competing against Amazon for it. And there's so many sellers on it, but it all moves. So I think it's a pretty good category when it comes to that stuff. At least, again, knock on wood. I've been screwed in some other categories for sure, but it's not like electronics or anything like that. It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, it feels like that would be like, I'm thinking about the effort for someone to create an inauthentic version of that, and it feels a little bit of a higher bar than
That's a great point.
the other categories that we play in.
Yep.
Versus makeup
Oh.
being like insane, you know.
Well, and the risk on
opposite.
that is so high because you're putting that on your face. Like,
Yeah.
That's why we got all those, slaps on the wrist from Amazon for beauty, is because that's huge liability.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So much of my business has been focused in like health and beauty for years. And like it's like my goal this year is to diversify more into some of these easier and less inauthentic problem products.
Yep.
I wonder if all Amazon sellers are on that agenda though, and we'll just have competition following us all there. So
Well, it also presents opportunity if you can create a relationship with a brand direct. Like, 'cause people are going to run away from it. I think it's the same as like shoes. Like, everyone talks poorly about shoes because there's high return rates, but if you understand your numbers, people are going to run away from that on an emotional basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's absolutely true. You got to know your numbers.
Oh, 100%.
I had a product, just to give you an idea. It was brand direct. I don't sell them anymore, but it used to be over 50% profit, but the return rate was like almost 30%. But it still made tons of sense at the end of the day, and I could flip this on eBay anyway and still get my money back. So as long as you know your numbers and it makes sense to you as a business,
You got
selling.
gifts for the family on the stuff that doesn't come back good.
Most of my family have tons of Stanleys now. So
Oh, yeah. Yes. I've got like probably 50 of one SKU that just got mucked up in December. And so I'm just handing them out left and right.
yeah, expense.
Yep.
Cost
I
of
keep
goods.
having people ask me for them whenever they come over. They're like, "Oh, Brian, you got any Stanleys on the shelf?" I'm like, "Am I just giving these out for free now, like all the time? Is that just what I'm known for?" Like,
All right, I got to ask, right? So a few people in here are going to Garrett's wedding. Like, wedding gifts are dead inventory. Yeah.
If you don't, I mean, I think, okay, so there's two wedding gifts. There's the real wedding gift, and then there's the one you give initially, right? It's the one you troll him a little bit. Now, he's probably going to see this at some point. He'll be.
Oh, I already know. I already know what I'm giving him. It's going to be a 12-pack of a cosmetic line that I got through him. It tanked. So.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
I'm just gonna bust now. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So there's going to be the gift that my wife gives them, and then there's the one that I give them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
10 Ken dolls in a box.
Oh, that's that. Those are for Blake. Those are for Blake's wedding. The Ken dolls are being saved.
Oh, you're right. Those are another person's wedding gifts.
All
Sorry.
38 of them.
Maybe some poly bags so he starts FBMing again.
That's a good idea. Everything should be in a poly bag.
Have to wrap it.
Yeah. Big old poly bags. That's actually a great idea.
There's Steven.
Oh, he woke up?
Yeah, the quick decline on. Oh, yeah. Steven. God, come on.
Yeah.
You can't decline on one spell. It's got to be at least 3 times.
I mean,
I text him. I gave him an actual text message too to tell him that he had plenty of time to wake up. And join.
Yeah.
Is Garrett doing any destination anything, or is he just staying local?
Oh, for honeymoon?
Or just for the wedding, I guess. I don't know.
I think he put it out public. Yeah, he put it out the other day. I saw him. I think he's going overseas.
Yeah.
That's cool. We can talk about it. He didn't join us today, so no, I gotta get working on my like fine tuning some of my my speech. So we've been digging in on that a little bit, but these weekends are too short, then too busy, and then I didn't plan on spending 4 hours at an auction yesterday, so that was not planned on. But I got some inventory we got to get prepped. I think my daughter's on watching us on Instagram. I don't know if she's still there. We got work to do in the warehouse today. If she's listening, we got product to prep.
Yeah, the sun peaked out yesterday, so I went golfing. So now I got to catch up all the day.
Yeah, good. How'd you do?
Oh, I didn't keep score. There was
Really?
no first time out. I was there hitting the balls with the guys. Like I didn't care.
I play in the low 70s.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, if it's hotter than that, I don't go out there.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were talking about. Yeah. Okay. I got you. I was going to say probably like 130.
That's
like,
my one golf joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't.
Gotta play the hits. Gotta play the hits. You know.
I'm pretty good at the Angry Birds Top Golf, though.
Ooh.
My wife loves that.
There you go.
She didn't even know how to golf, but she loves that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish there was a Top Golf closer to me, man. That's they're supposedly building one up here, but look, I think my truly closest one is down in KP by you down there. That's because that's when I played. I went with Garrett and Alyssa for a little bit.
Yeah, there's like 3 in this area. It's kind of crazy.
Dude, what a business, right?
Yeah.
There's a competitor that started up and started building out here in Utah anyway. And then Topgolf swept in and bought each of them out before they finished building them. It's like this whole business model they got running probably.
Wow.
That's a beautiful.
It's
So if
interesting.
anyone can afford to build one of those buildings, Topgolf will come in, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just genius business, and I don't think like not to slam, like the food isn't like amazing, right? Food's just okay, but it's it's the atmosphere.
Good enough is all they need.
Yep, that's it. We did one down in Tampa with a bunch for daughter's lacrosse traveling team. So all the kids got to go, a couple booths, a bunch of the parents in one, and they we had the whole catered thing where they put the food all behind you, like finger food, and that was pretty. It's a good time. You can't deny it. It's just a good event all the way around.
Have you guys? You might have already talked about the email that went out about canceling the defect fees. Did you guys chat about that at all?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Have you guys
We
already?
talked about the fees in general. We didn't talk about the postponement for a month, I think is what you reflect.
Yeah,
right?
I just saw Brian was excited about it in the chat, so I was pretty worried about that smacking me pretty good, but they're postponing it, so it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone even knows what I'm talking about, but that 2D workflow was bypassing those new Amazon placement fees, and now everyone's getting a little worried about if Amazon's going to smack everyone, because Amazon was coming out saying they're going to hit everyone up pretty hard with the defects on every single order. Looked like they were, and then they started populating all into my shipments, hundreds of canceled orders. You guys might have the same thing, and then we got that email yesterday.
I looked the other day. I didn't have. What's crazy too is I still use 2D workflow. I did a shipment. What's that?
Did you do the optimization on there?
No, yeah, I just do minimum splits, East Coast, like the stuff the other day was. And I'll tell you what. So here's the thing. I had a shipment from LA, so I switched it to West Coast minimum shipment, right? And then I went in myself because for the stuff I get out of like up north here, I created all myself. My stuff in LA, I create the draft. The guy goes into the draft and finishes the shipment, which is real nice. But I forgot to change it back. So I had stuff coming out of Buffalo, New York, and I had West Coast picked. So I realized it as soon as I hit plan, or the first port in 2D workflow. So I went back in and changed it, and it updated when I hit like a refresh. So I don't know if that is going to hit me for creating that shipment. Like, I don't know. Like it doesn't show anywhere in Sellers. I went and looked, but who knows, right?
The weird thing is I don't know when the defect occurrence actually happens, because you didn't actually create a shipment at that point. You reverted back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no clarity on it.
Yeah.
And the 2D owner guy doesn't really give too much clarity on it either. So
yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it, but I'm not too concerned. But we'll find out. All of a sudden, I think of, I'm not sure, Tracy's not with us today, but Tracy had posted something, I think, talking about a bunch of inbound fees she got potential. I don't know the details. I kind of read it and don't want to talk about it too much without her here, but I know she got proposed with a bunch of fees that looked to be very high. So I don't know what the outcome of that was, of the final. Maybe we can get her on next Sunday to talk about it.
It'll be cool to see what happens over the next like 2 years as like Walmart spins up and gets more sophisticated, and all these other players, all these other like TikTok Shop, whatever, and just start pulling away, because the arbitrage sellers will go where the money is, and
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that impacts and if Amazon becomes more competitive.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And Walmart needs a Keepa. Once Walmart
True.
gets Keepa,
Yeah.
I think that's the game changer. And whoever comes up with it first that does a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, Walmart can explode with new sellers and just that opportunity.
Isn't there something close to it now? What was I looking at?
So I thought I heard there was.
Data
Tracy
Spark?
definitely knows. There's Data Spark, yeah, but
Wally
I think
Smart
Walmart
is
launched a
another one.
BSR.
Smarter. Wally Smarter is one of them.
Wally Smart. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time.
I think the problem with all that is it's going to take time, right? Like you just said it, Paula, but time to build the history to get the data, right? And Keepa's great because it's been and it's been storing that data and collecting that data, and they don't have that. So and it seems like there's a lot of people trying. I mean, every week when I seem to talk to somebody new that's working on their own Walmart software behind the scenes or their own thing. Which, I talk to a lot of different people. And it's funny because I just hear it from all these different angles. And I'm like, man, if we could just get a group together to team up, right? Instead of 5 different people creating their own thing, because everybody wants their own thing. I get it. But I think eventually something will surface that'll be the winner, hopefully. But
yeah, the next step from there would be to merge the two. Like, the next level of that is, having something where you can all in one spot kind of see the data for both, right? I mean, ultimately it's going to lead to that, I would think, rather than kind of toggle between 2 different things. If you're looking to sell, I don't know, maybe where it just kind of shows you what your better option is. Cause it does, I'm not a Walmart guy, so I don't know. Maybe you guys on here can tell me, but I imagine that there's certain products or certain categories that do better as opposed to, I mean, profit wise, I know everything right now, Amazon's the machine in terms of velocity and volume and all that, but I imagine some products that do better on Walmart. I
think with Walmart, and I have the account, haven't made a single sale because it's just like, it's difficult to like understand exactly what you're like getting into because there isn't that data. But what I've seen is that there's such a barrier to entry on Walmart. Like it's more difficult to get the account. It's more difficult to get insights. And so there probably is opportunity there. I just haven't invested the time to like really niche down into it. But prices I think are generally higher because there's so many fewer sellers, because it's so hard to like get the account. Like you have to jump through these hoops that you don't have to jump through on Amazon.
Gotcha. Okay.
I got declined
once,
reapplied, got declined a second time. And that was Q4-ish, I think. So I kind of gave up during Q4. I said, okay, we're not worrying about this right now. Got too much else going on. And then let it sit. And one night, so Brian started it. There's a Discord we have, right, that Brian owns that Discord. But we have a Monday night that we just talk Walmart. That's all it's for. It's dedicated to Walmart chat. And it's pretty damn good. And one of the nights, it was a quiet night. I think we only had a couple people show up. And I forget who I was talking to. It was, man, I don't know. Was I on maybe it wasn't even in the Discord when I found it. Maybe Sadiq, was I talking to you? I can't remember who I was talking to. I had a random chat with someone. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me check because I got to go back in. It's now, we're in Q1 now. I got time to look. I said, let me find my old email. So I found the old email from the decline, right? And I grabbed it. I log in. I got an account. I'm approved. Like, don't know how long it was approved. Had no clue it was approved. And then I called our buddy Mike, who does nothing but Walmart. And he's like, yeah, but now you're going to have to apply for Walmart Fulfilled. And that's going to take a while. And so I screen shared with him because he was going to show me how to do it. And he goes, son of a gun, you're already approved. Like,
yeah. That's how my experience. I just rolled in, had everything. I just
Yeah.
but then some of my buddies couldn't get approved.
Yeah, it's so
did like
good.
an hour history.
Joe, do they give you a reason for the denial?
no.
Nothing.
Nope. And then again, I didn't have time to really argue it because Q4 was crazy.
Right.
We were FBM and a ton of crap, and I just couldn't deal with it. So yeah, and just randomly it's approved. So Pete, to that thing, I've just been throwing up listings. Brian's helped me. Our buddy Mike has been helping me. You should jump in on a Monday night one night on one of these calls we have, and if you want, I mean, it's just good chat about Walmart, but. They helped me do some listings, and I'm selling stuff on there. So I had an OTC that I couldn't sell on Amazon. I forget why. Maybe I didn't want to ship it in because with the split shipments, it didn't make sense to send 2 little jars to California or something silly. So I listed it on Seller Fulfilled through Walmart, and I sold every single day 2 to 3 of them.
Okay.
And for profit, as far as I can tell so far.
Yeah, that's the hard part is I don't know the fee. Like I'm not familiar with the fee structure yet. Like I'm hoping that if I sell, we'll make money. But
yeah,
it doesn't say anywhere what the fees are.
It
I
does.
mean,
Brian can explain that
So
maybe.
they do have a page that says all the fee percentages, and then there's also a calculator that is actually free.
Oh.
So it's not amazing by any means, but it is a calculator, and you basically change the category, and then that changes the fee percentage.
Okay.
Put in what you estimate your cost per pound to be, which is kind of similar to what Amazon was before they did the inbound stuff. So it's probably like 30 cents a pound is a good estimate. And then they do basically the dimensional weight. If it's greater than the actual weight of the product, then that trumps it. And that's how they determine how much the fee is. So if it's a bigger product, you might actually want to make sure you put in the dimensions of it, even if it's light, because that's going to be what determines that fee.
Okay.
But a lot of people, especially in our group, have had really good success with random returns they have that they, for some reason, can't sell on Amazon. If you get something that tanks on Amazon really hard and you're like, oh crap, if you go look at it on Walmart, I've actually made money off of stuff that I've sent into Amazon and then pulled with a removal order and then listed on Walmart. And I made money, even with all those fees.
Okay, because I got a lot of stuff around the house.
Oh yeah,
I
you
probably
should
should
do that.
get out.
I would list all of those, and you know what Joe did the other night?
Yeah.
Joe, with his employee, his virtual assistant, he took a whole bunch of pictures, sent them all to her, and said, "Go make listings for every single one of these. If it doesn't exist, go make a listing for it." And
that's beautiful.
he started selling stuff left and right, like doing that, and just listing anything you currently have that you're trying to get rid of. Before you go list it on eBay, go check Walmart because chances are the price is going to be higher.
Yep. New VA task. There we go.
I've
And
opened
do you have,
up.
like, full catalog rights on Walmart? No,
There's a
you
lot
just
less
pick it.
restrictions. There are
Yeah.
certain categories like Legos and Squishmallows and stuff like that. You're not going to know that you're gated until you attempt to list it. When you
Yes,
attempt
I
to
do.
list it, you're going to get an error and it's pretty aggravating. However, on the flip side, if you're willing to deal with the annoyances and get past those certain things, you're going to be one of very, very few people that is selling those
Right.
products.
Well, and so I did that with Lego and kind of gave up because I was like, I'm just focused on Amazon. So it didn't seem like their workflow for Walmart was very solid. Do you have to like just call them and just harass them on the phone?
If you're trying to get ungated, you have to submit an invoice pretty much just like you do with
You do?
Amazon.
Okay, there is a workflow. I just haven't found it.
And what you'll do is you'll have to go create a case with them.
Okay.
I would say calling is very helpful. They will create the case for you and everything. And then honestly, I've had them, at least when I first started, it may have been a little bit better. And this was like almost a year ago now. They would be like, oh, let me talk to my manager. We'll try and get this resolved while you're on the phone. Like all US based, like very, very good support in comparison to Amazon. And I actually give you the phone number in for anybody who's watching.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I have it saved literally in my phone as a contact. So,
well, it's nice because they're trying to steal business from Amazon, so they'll probably play ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had someone. I'm sure you guys had something similar. I had someone reach out from Walmart. Just basically, they must be like, looking through Amazon stores, and trying to get people to switch over. So I don't know if you guys had that, but that I need to follow up because I need an option for, something you can go to battle with Amazon over and over and just like, look, I can't sell it there. Let's just cut my losses and at least get it on that platform as opposed to dealing with Marketplace or eBay or something like that. I'd rather have something where I can just send it in,
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you send stuff in to Walmart, you don't even have to put SKU labels on it. They put a lot of focus on making sure that UPCs match, and they don't really do multi-packs or anything like that. It's really like a one item, one UPC, throw it in a box, and then you put the dimensions and weight of the box, and you say there's multi-SKUs in here. And so you can do that with 8 boxes. Throw stuff in 8 boxes, say weight, dimension, multi-SKU, add all the items you're selling to the list in Walmart, hit send, and then they print you box labels. You don't even have to tell them what's in each box.
That's
That's amazing.
Oh, it's like way, way easier than.
So it's all commingled, I imagine, right? Your inventory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard that they're not
you could do SKU
commingled.
labels. What's that?
I've heard they're not commingled. Tracy, I think, mentioned that. I don't know
Really?
how
So
they
have
keep
a way
track
to
of that
track
stuff.
it.
I wonder how they do that without using labels.
Me too.
They probably just have your assigned bins or whatnot.
Uh,
But
Maybe, yeah.
hey, I've opened multiple Walmart selling accounts and never got rejected with different partners and stuff. I think maybe the differential there is on every one of those I submit a website along with it, just a company face website, and I've wondered if that has helped. Even brand new sellers, even some accounts that on Amazon that have very little volume, I've opened Walmart accounts on those same LLCs and had no issue. So I've had websites on each of them though, so that might be a little secret. I don't know.
that's good to know.
Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure. Just shows that you're more reputable.
Yeah.
I have their seller support phone number though. If you want to write it down, Pete, and if
Yeah.
anybody else watching needs it, it's 844-937-7778, and kind of a 180 from Amazon. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend reaching out if you ever need help with stuff.
How long have you worked for Amazon, Brian?
Oh no, this is
Just
Walmart.
kidding.
How
I mean,
long have I worked for
Walmart.
Right? No, I do think that they're trying hard. I appreciate that. I think that a lot of sellers do too, honestly. Somebody's ringing my doorbell. Be right back.
I've wondered why they were making it a harder barrier to entry on opening accounts, trying to compete with Amazon,
Well, like logistically on the back end, it's got to be a mess because
Yeah.
they're learning on the fly. Whereas Amazon's this juggernaut that has all of this infrastructure, whether you love it or not. Like,
Right.
Maybe they're actually doing it smarter than Amazon because Amazon's a mess. Amazon's such a big monster that it's just a mess and it will never be fixed,
well,
Yeah.
that's what I loved about. Well, it was interesting. Like everyone was freaking out about Adidas getting regated this week, right? So our VA used to work for Amazon, and she was like, "Yeah, they send out like a notice to the entire company saying we're going to regate like a handful of brands today because we want to flesh out the crap." And then they're just making sure that the people that are selling are legit. So don't freak out. This is just like standard operating. Like it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
So what have you? You know what? I haven't been able to stay on a lot of the lives and stuff this week. I've been tied up. But so what was the outcome so far? People have been getting ungated.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just slow. Like I saw Saul got ungated.
Yeah.
And his was off like a third party, like the third party A2A. So it's happening. It's just a little frustrating for people that are heavy in that,
A third party A-Day, not direct.
Yeah, so it was like he posted on Twitter. It was like Adidas official. He just posted that, or he sent that in, and they were like, "Sounds good." And I mean, I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, it's a little frustrating for people when they're submitting. You get the wrong person reviewing it, and then you have to resubmit.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
I think we lost Paulo. Paulo took a dropped off for us. Probably busy with the little one.
You guys all done with taxes or anyone doing last minute stuff like me?
Oh, I'm last minute.
Oh, the old extension. The extension. Yeah.
I get slammed with fees every year from extending, so I'm just trying to find my rough number to actually pay some excess taxes before.
Yeah, you're smart. You're smart, man. I swore I wouldn't do that this year. I mean, it's the same old thing for me. I'm like, yeah. I hit my accountant up on Friday, and I said, I said, hey, look, I really thought I was going to have my books together. Can we just file an extension? She emailed me back. She's like, oh, don't worry, we already filed one for you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thanks for having faith in me, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we did. File the extension. I did a prepayment. Sorry, there's like this rumbling noise going on, like something's falling out of the sky almost. It's happened twice now. I have no idea what it is because I'm looking out our window that overlooks the lake and I can see pretty much anything going on around here. And it's not thunder. It's the weirdest noise. Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. I'm talking about taxes, but
probably it's a normal reaction.
Yeah, Dave gave me I don't know if I can share you a little secret, Dave, but I'm signing up this week. Is Dave found a software for helping organize receipts, and I mean we're not sponsored by them or no means, so there's no intentional plug here, Dave. But I've been reading up on it. I'm definitely signing up. Plan on doing it today. Is that awesome. It's a software that you literally. In fact, I was telling one of my best friends that I have breakfast with because he runs his own business, his own company, and one of his struggles is receipts. It's always like he's got piles of stuff, right? So Dave told me about a company that you literally sign up for, and you can snail mail them all your receipts in an envelope, and they actually send you posted, paid, stamped, ready to go envelopes. They send them to you, so you just stuff all your receipts in there. You send it off to them, and they will scan them, label them, kind of naming convention them, right? Tell me if I'm speaking right.
Yeah, no, it's the greatest. I don't care if I don't get $1 from this. Like when something's good, it's good, and I should do infomercials for that place because it's unbelievable. Like, so I'm a disaster. If you haven't realized already, I'm a disaster when it comes to all things books, receipts, like an absolute disaster, right? I just my theory is just keep spending money like an idiot, and so I just when there's a deal, I'll just buy it, and I figure like, yeah, I'll make money off of it. And so not very efficient. So I don't even know why I'm on this chat because everyone's like, I'm not going to learn a damn thing from me. But I will say this, like I was insane in RA for so long that I had receipts like crawling out of every crevice of, every drawer and every whatever, right? So you could literally just send in crumpled up, like balled up receipts into this, like stuff it into this envelope. And it shows up back to you. First of all, they're all like ironed out and like perfectly, and then they categorize all of them for you by date, category, supplier, store. You can also send in like business cards. When you get business cards from everybody, and they're just everywhere. They'll organize those for you as well. And then you have your own. Everybody who signs up for it has their own email address. So any digital receipts, you just forward it to this email address, and then they log those in there as well. And then they'll do all the books for you as well. So like they'll tell you all your numbers in each category. So there's no excuse for me. This is even worse that I don't have my taxes filed on time because I haven't even I've got to send in a whole nother thing of receipts from 23, some dummy. But the cool thing is when I first did it, they went back like a year and a half. So they sent me like 10 envelopes. And then they were like these large envelopes. I stuffed them all with receipts, put them in a box my first time around. And within a week and a half, maybe they had it all done. It was like such a relief. It was awesome. So anyway,
what's it called, Dave? So everybody
knows. Shoebox.com with a D.
They're a bookkeeper as well, or are they?
They are, yeah. They have different tiers and different services you can do, but yeah, just kind of, and they're really good with customer support too. They'll get on a video call with you and kind of walk through. And what I appreciated, and the reason why I'm comfortable kind of plugging it, is because they really they don't want to try and, or at least to me, I don't know, they didn't want to like just upsell you. They're like, look, you might be able to do without that for right now. let's get you at the lower tier, spend less money. And so I appreciated that kind of walking through. And I know that's a good sales tactic anyhow, but it seemed genuine. So, so yeah, they've got all kinds of services, things like that they can do. But the biggest one for me was the receipts, both digitally and physical receipts. It was just kind of nice to go as a one-stop shop. I didn't have to take pictures of them individually, and I didn't do anything. Just like I said, just stuff them in there.
And they do link up with QuickBooks and some other software too. I saw when I was reading on it the other day.
Yeah,
What is it called again?
Shoebox.com. So BOXED.
And they'll straight up, you can pay them to take those receipts and attach them to QuickBooks, not just have it like sync up with QuickBooks, right? Like they will physically do it themselves for you, I think.
Correct.
Saying, right?
Oh, I didn't see that. That's awesome. I just thought that they link up. Well, they link up with QuickBooks, so I assume there was some functionality there. Yeah.
And they'll also send you back. I'll get back all my receipts, the physical receipts. They'll send them all back to me just so because I throw them in a box for whatever when I get audited and thrown in jail. At least I'll have those. I can show them something, So,
you know what
by the way. So
you know what I'd like to know, Brian, and I wonder if they would be able to, because you said they do some, like they'll work with you to do stuff. If they would help you account for receipts that have sales tax on them. So if you wanted to have a separate way of accounting all your sales tax at the end of the year,
they will.
That's all. Yeah. So if you want to refile back for the sales tax on your OA items, that could be huge.
Yeah. And it just kind of once you build out the categories, it'll automatically if so for some, Walmart might be a grocery store, right? But for others, it's a I don't know, it's a supplier for your Amazon. So anyways, they'll separate all that out based on your preferences, right? So on whether it's food item or because I throw everything in there. And then I can figure it out later, rather than me go through all my receipts. That's when I was crazy RA. It was just impossible to keep track of it. Impossible.
Well, right, especially like you said, you're the RA king. So
no, I'm not anything. I'm a king of nothing. I'm a king of a bunch of crumpled up receipts.
Your RA business is like the Texas, it's huge, right? It's large. So
it was at one point. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah,
we're converting you. We're converting you.
That's right.
And now he has no money to spend on RA at this point.
That's right.
As of last week.
We're
I have no money for anything. Like I said, Brian just keeps making me spend more money. So I actually thought today was going to be an intervention. I thought you guys would have me on here so you can tell me to stop spending money. So
no, I'm not.
Yeah, Joe's a bad example as of yesterday, so I don't know that we could, honestly do an intervention at this point, at least.
Well, my 5-year-old daughter asked if she's going to eat this week. I said, no, we got to, man, I'm sorry. You just got to hold off a week. We got to make sure we get another wholesale order in.
She's going to eat. You definitely got some short dated stuff. That's fine.
It's all fine. It's that meme, right? Where everything's fine. Everything's burning down around you.
We got some ramen,
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm excited about kind of where it's moving right now for me. I'm sure everybody has this, but I feel like there's just so much money out and nothing in Amazon yet, right? That's the scary. I just need to turn it over a little faster. So
yeah, I got a lot of out right now, and it's my smaller ticket items are turning over fast, right? The $14, $20 items, $35 candies are selling fast, but the high ticket items are going slow.
Yeah.
So some are tanking a little and hoping some people sell out and we get some of these prices back up. So
sure. Yeah, it's a little unnerving when you get all that money out and you just can't. It's just not in Amazon yet. That's what's, obviously it's not. All that money's there. It's not making any money, right? That's the other part. But whatever, it's part of the deal.
Yeah, it's just been some price stuff for me, and I know Brian. We got some stuff we bought together, and been watching some prices dip down that lower than you're kind of questioning why right now, but on higher value items, but hopefully we'll see that kick back around here soon. But it's all good. Just keep buying more. Find other items that'll move faster. I liquidated some stuff the other day that I just said enough is enough. Yeah. And I just dropped the prices down. So let's just get it out of here, and had to do that. I need to be doing that more often. That's one thing I definitely need to improve on is the 60, 90-day window stuff. Start getting more organized with changing the repricing structure on 60, 90-day window, and moving stuff down. I've not been good with that. And I'm a stubborn person by nature. So, there's a, I got $10,000 wrapped up in that. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to wait. And it's just worse. I mean, the grave was a 6-foot grave when it hit. Now we're at a 10-foot grave right now.
I will say, Joe, I was exactly just like you, but I've now gone the other way, where it's probably the other extreme, where I have no patience, and if I see it's not going, I'll liquidate it, just get my money back. That's not the best either. So there's got to be some kind of middle ground. I've got to figure it out. But
it's not horrible, right? I mean, if you look at it, you say, okay, I'm going to lose $1 a unit, but again, right? It's in the numbers. It's the numbers, right? So if you can get invested 10, you're going to lose 2, but you get the 8 back. Can you reinvest the 8 to make 4? I mean, right? That's that's the game, right? And figuring, and that's, I know we said it earlier, knowing your numbers is so important. And I know I'm not great at it. I think and there's so many numbers that you think by using the tools we use, and really the behind the scenes stuff can add up, especially with PPC running and returns and even and then now the newer fees, right? And the stocking fees.
Yeah.
Those
are the ones I think they get kind of lost, right? Is those sort of more hidden fees that I'm not accounting for that I need to. And I mean, I'm including everything up front, which you see, like, shipping, stocking, the referral, all that stuff. Like, okay, I got it. And then you forget about, if it sits there for a little while, all those hidden fees that I'm just not accounting for.
Yeah.
I've got some pretty strict 60 to 75-day windows in place on just liquidating and being out, But now with Brian talking about money on Walmart, like maybe that liquidation thing is something to reconsider. Maybe it should just be pulling inventory. I automate it all, but maybe it shouldn't be automated at that point. Maybe we should check in Walmart on every single one of them, see if it's worth pulling. So
you're saying pulling it and then sending it over there.
Yeah, if it's Brian says he's doing it, so and making money still on those items.
Hey, you just have to see what the costs are, because the fees now have gone up too for bringing stuff back too, right? Those fees have gone up for the recalling inventory. Fees are higher now. So just kind of seeing what it costs you per unit and figuring, and I don't know anything about how to do the multi-channel fulfillment, right? You can do that too, right? Sell on Walmart, but fulfill through Amazon. I don't know.
It's really expensive from what I believe what Tracy said. It's
right.
Like really like prohibitively expensive. And honestly, if you're fulfilling through Amazon to Walmart, you might be breaking their terms, because then it'd come in like an Amazon box or something, right?
There's a system for it. It's set up for multi-channel. I think there's actually a way to do it, like multi-channel fulfillment, I think, right? Where you can do that within terms of service.
Though, I doubt. I bet it has Amazon logos on
it. I might hit Walmart's terms of service. It's got an Amazon box.
You never know.
Yeah, but I'm talking. You're talking about directly to the customer. Would that matter if it goes like fulfillment center to a Walmart fulfillment center, right?
Oh, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you'd have to just pull it and physically do it yourself. But
yeah, especially if you've got the other thing, if you've already got SKU labels put on it covering up the UPCs, Walmart's going to want the UPC code, so you'd have to peel off the stickers for each center.
Even still, if you could do it, it'd be pretty sweet to just do an Amazon removal order straight to Walmart.
Straight to Walmart. Yeah, awesome, right? Like the hell with you guys.
Well, you can still print SKU labels for Walmart. Now, don't get that wrong. It's just like you don't have to.
Right.
So you still could. And what I do whenever I get the Amazon ones is, at least my SKU labels are such a pain to rip off. I just cover them up with a Walmart SKU label.
Right. That's cool. Well, gentlemen, we are at just over an hour. That went by fast. We can't pull an all-nighter like we do in Sadiq's chat sometimes. We can't do the 4 or 5 hour hangout like which is always awesome. But it's a Sunday, and I've got a lot to do. I got to get this Airbnb ready, man. We got to start printing some money on this place here. We can get a little view. I don't see the lake, but window's a little dirty, but a little cold out there. I was down at the lake shore just a little while ago doing some measurements for some new dock that we're having designed, custom built, like addition off of our lake front. So working on that. We've got some furniture coming, and it'll be a sweet little pad to rent out here, hopefully in the next couple weeks. So that's my project for the next couple hours. Then out to the warehouse tonight. So if anybody's up to, we'll probably jump in a Discord chat later on and shoot the shit while screwing around in the warehouse prepping. You guys have a good Sunday. Hey, I have a Sunday question for you all. Little religious here. How does God make his coffee? He brews it. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Well,
no good. No good.
I'm gonna worship at the Masters today, all the rest of the day. If anybody's gonna do that, man. It's Sunday of the Masters week.
So that's right. Yeah.
A Masters trance today.
Yeah.
It's always nice when Joe ends with a dad joke.
Yeah, I got to end with a good, I do. And that was the only one that's appropriate for all the ages that I had. So. The girl at the diner told us one today that is just completely inappropriate, and but funny as can be. But well, maybe I'll save that one for next week. Hey, I appreciate you all joining, and Brent is new into the social media with us all, and it's good to see you, buddy. And I enjoy having you on, and all the other faces where you guys are out all the time, which is awesome. And Brian's been on me. I do have to start mentioning we do have. As we keep continuing to do this, we got to mention our link tree. So we do have some affiliates set up from products that we use. So anybody that's watching the video afterwards, we don't really do a lot of heavy pushing or promoting on here. Not the intention, but as we are hiring some social media folks to help us with stuff, it will help with the cost. So anything that's in our link tree in YouTube, right, Brian? Am I saying this right?
Yeah, there's a lot of links in YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot there. It's all stuff we use, and it helps us out a little bit if you use the link. That's all. But thanks, everyone. Guys, good seeing you. And hopefully we see y'all again next Sunday.
Awesome.
Thanks,
a lot, guys.
Send us a nice little comment right at the end. Just got on there. Yeah. Thanks for keeping her informed. All right. See y'all.
See everybody.
Yeah.
See you guys.